think I'm being attacked by a giant 8.5-foot tree. Oh my gosh, so y'all, this tree has been around. It's been with me and my family for 40 years. This tree is 40 years old. Can you believe that? I just think it's amazing that I've had a plant for 40 years. It's definitely shared a lot of me and my family's history. Hello, my darling friends. Welcome back. It is so good to see you all. Gosh, I missed you last week. I'm sorry. I was AWOL last week. It was just one of those weeks. Anyway, we don't need to dive into any of that. So we're back and I'm looking forward to hanging out today. This is going to be a fun video for me, y'all, because I am going to be decorating. I'm going to be doing just some spring decorating, and then we'll do a little home tour. And I love these videos because I just think they're so relaxing and they're just fun, and we get to just hang out and enjoy each other's company. So y'all, without further ado, let's just get started. If you've been with me for a while, you know that anytime I transition from one season to the next in my decor, there's always a DIY project involved. However, today, I don't think we necessarily have any specific DIYs, but we're going to create some greenery pieces, a few floral arrangements, and we're just gonna have a good time. All right, y'all, so without further ado, I'm pretty sure I said that. This is the second intro to the first intro. Okay, y'all, let's go do some spring decorating. Alrighty, y'all, so we are going to start out in the entryway today, and this is one of my favorite places to style. It's a very small area, and I don't necessarily have a defined entrance into the home since this living space is very open concept. But if that's the case with you, and like it is with me, there are so many fun tips and tricks that you can do to create a space that actually feels like a defined entry. And I am going to show you how I've done that. I've done it by sectioning off the sitting area in my home with the couches, the placement of the couches, and then adding in a console table. So the first thing I want to do before we just dive into decorating is create a really fun greenery piece for the console table in my entry. So I have a scale that I leave sitting out. It's out pretty much all year. Sometimes I change it out. But this year I'm going to go ahead and leave the scale out for the spring and summer season. And I want to create some greenery and floral pieces that can actually take me into the early summer season. So I'm going to keep things with a very neutral palette. That this year I'm just really into the darker colors and not so much the fun light colors or the traditional pastel spring colors. I'm really into the darker feels this year. So we're going to go ahead and start by creating this really fun greenery piece for the scale, and then we will dive right into styling. To create this greenery piece, we are just going to need a few supplies. I'm just using a variety of greenery stems here, stems and picks, and then these half-round floral foams, and of course some wire cutters. This is going to be a pretty simple project, y'all. When I am creating a greenery piece, I just have a few rules that I like to follow. So because this piece is round, I'm going to start, well, I actually follow this rule whether it's round or not, but the way I start creating my base is I place a few picks in a clock pattern. So I'll place one at 12, 3, 6, and 9. And then this gives me like a starting point of how to create this floral piece to make it look very cohesive and balanced. So I will come in after I've placed my first initial foundation pieces. I'm going to come in and just simply start filling this all in. So after I get that initial 12, 3, 6, and 9, then I just come in and start filling in the 1, 2, 4, 5, and so forth until I get this really nice full foundation around the entire circumference of our floral piece here.
because I am building this for the scale that we're displaying on the console table today, I decided to go ahead and bring in the little basket that, you know, hangs from the scale arms. I'm not sure what the technical name for this is. That might be a fun tidbit of trivia to look up. Anyway, I decided to pull it in because I started thinking and realizing that once I get this really full, it might be very hard to get it properly placed onto our scale dish here. So I'm going to go ahead and continue building this, or finish building it on the scale basket, scale tray, scale, what do you call these? The scale weights, maybe? I'm not even sure. Now I feel like I need to go look that up. Okay, so to finish building this, I'm just going to start staggering all of my layers, and I'm just going to continue building layers all the way around the floral foam here until I get it really nice and full. And as I am building my layers, I do stagger them, so I don't place that second row pieces right on top of where I placed the bottom row, the foundation row. I sort of stagger them offset just a little bit. So I'm going to continue doing this process all the way around this, layer by layer, until I get it really nice and full. At this point, our greenery piece is looking really, really good. So as I was staggering my layers, you can see here how I started adding in some contrasting greenery pieces. And we do still have just a few small holes at the top, so I'm going to add in some more of those larger pieces that I used to create the base on this. But I really like having the mixed greenery in here. I think it makes for a really beautiful piece. It gives it lots of texture, lots of dimension, and lots of visual interest. I think it's ready now. It's looking really good. I think we're done. I think we can call this piece done, and now we can go have fun styling.
Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and place the scale onto this console table, and I'm going to just set it a little offset so that we can place a lamp right here. I think a lamp will just look so lovely in this space right next to the big greenery. And I think one of the most important things to keep in mind when you're styling an area like this is to use pieces. In my opinion, I prefer to use larger pieces rather than a bunch of small pieces that make things look cluttered. I don't really like that cluttered look. I kind of like that just clean, minimal look. So that's all I'm going to add to the top of this console table is just the greenery and the lamp. Okay, am I the only one that feels this way? Do y'all hate this big giant ugly seam on lampshades? Every lampshade has them, and they're an eyesore to me. So I do kind of try to put them in the back. So when you're looking at the lamp from this direction, it's in the back, but if you're sitting here, it's going to be in the front, and there's no way around that. So we're just gonna live with it. So something else, this area doesn't have an electrical outlet. I don't have an electrical outlet. The closest one is clear back there, and I don't want to string a cord. I don't want you to see the cords. I hate cords. Cords are my #1 nemesis in decor. So what I have done is I've just tucked the cord to this lamp up inside the base. A lot of lamps you can do that. This part's hollow, so you can just kind of tuck the cord up there. And then I've just added a battery lamp, or a battery light bulb to this lamp. I love these battery light bulbs, y'all. I have them in so many places, all scattered throughout the house. I just love them. So we'll go grab, they are remote controlled and they have different tones. So I'll go grab the remote so we can turn it on and see how it looks. Okay, so I've got the remote. I love these. I can't say enough how much I love these. They are so perfect when you've got a space in your home where you don't have electrical outlet, but you really want a lamp, because in my opinion, I just think a lamp completes a space. These battery bulbs are perfect. So they just turn on, and then they have different tones too, so you can darken them, lighten them, and I even have some that do colors, which we'll talk about those in just a few minutes. But I love these, and I mean, doesn't it just make the space look So warm and so inviting and so cozy. It's just the perfect welcome to my home, come on in greeting, I feel like. Okay, y'all, so to the bottom down here, I literally just added in a basket with some rolled up blankets and another basket with just a little bit of greenery. And that's it. I think this whole ensemble is looking pretty complete, looks pretty good. So I think we're gonna go with it. Okay, y'all, so over here on this shelving vignette that I have here, this is pretty much staple pieces that I kind of leave up here all year round and then just add a few touches of the season to each of the empty areas. Christmas time might be the only time I would really fully change this up and give it a completely different look. So for now, we're just gonna use these staple pieces and I'm just gonna add some greenery, some potted plants, and maybe just a couple of little knicky-knacks. So y'all know me, I'm not a really big knicky-knack person, but I do feel like we need to add a little bit of spring-specific pieces to these shelves. Okay, so up on top of the books, I've just got this cute little greenery piece that I think we'll go ahead and just add, maybe just kind of off to the side a little bit. And then a fun little bowl of eggs to the top of our scale, maybe. And just this simple, very simple green piece. Okay, y'all, so to this little wooden bowl here, I am going to, I didn't really want to fill this with eggs. I love this little wooden bowl. I think it just adds a lot of, you know, textures. There's lots of different textures going here, and I love wood, anything wood. So this, I thought it'd be fun to set here, and I didn't really want to fill it with Easter eggs because I've already got kind of a lot of Easter eggs going around. So what I decided to do was, I have these really cute cup and saucer sets that I got from my mother. They actually belong to my grandmother, and she passed them down to me, and I don't really have a place to leave them out all the time. And it's a set of 4, and each represents the 4 seasons. So I thought this would be a fun, unique way to display these. I love this particular set because you all know me, I love green. So I'm just gonna set the saucer right in the bowl, and then we'll put the cup right on top of it. And there, we just have a fun, unique way to display pieces that have sentimental value. Okay, y'all, so to finish off this whole vignette here, this whole shelving, I'm just gonna place a bigger plant here, and I just threw this together using just kind of our same rule of thumb when putting greenery and floral pieces together. So I'm just gonna place this here. And I feel like adding a bigger piece here kind of helps balance out this whole entire shelving, all the shelving units. I'm not sure what I want to call that there. Okay. Then I've got our little resin bunny, and I think I will just set him here. And then it just kind of gives a little bit of balance. So we've got some Easter, and some Easter. Okay, y'all, so I feel like this is looking pretty good. I actually really like it. I like how we've kept things very balanced by placing, you know, the greeneries diagonal from one another, the books are diagonal from one another, and our Easter elements are also diagonal from one another. And the bunny, this bunny, I might keep it out for a while just because I think this could carry into throughout the entire spring season because, you know, bunnies kind of go with spring, right? So, but anyway, I think we've got it balanced really well, and all of our photos are at a diagonal. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you are creating a whole when you're styling shelves like this, balance things out by putting things on the diagonal. It really makes everything look cohesive and well balanced. Okay, y'all, so let's talk about the mantle for just a second. So I don't think I'm gonna make a whole lot of changes to the pieces that I have up here. I am still loving all these fun pieces that we made a few weeks ago together, and I think they're gonna definitely carry me through the rest of our spring season and into early summer. There are a few tweaks I might want to make though. So I'm just gonna kind of think this through. I'll show you guys what I'm thinking, and I may or may not go with it, because right now I really am sort of liking the way the mantle's looking. What I'm not liking so much right now is these pieces right here. I love our little bird cage that we made, and I love our little birds with the nests. I'm just not sure I'm liking the way I have them styled, so I might want to play with that just a little bit. Okay, so do y'all remember when we made these? Some of you might remember. I've had so many new friends join in the last several months. So if you missed the episode on this, or you're new to my channel, I will have these linked in the playlist, because these are really fun and we had so much fun making them. So I'm kind of contemplating adding these to the mantle. I'm just not sure yet. Oh, and also, if you missed the video on the art that we created, I will have that linked in the description box for y'all too. There'll be a whole playlist linked down there for y'all. So, okay, so I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just play around a little bit and see if I want to use these. They are darling, and I do love them. They were so fun to make. They're just feeling maybe a little too whimsical and cutesy for me and for the style that I'm going with for this season. So I don't know, let's just go play and see what we think. I do think they will be cute. I mean, just with the theme that we have going, because we've definitely got the whole bird theme going. So I don't know, I just can't decide. What do we think of that? I'm just gonna stand back and take a look at it. Sometimes that's the way you just gotta do it. You place pieces, stand back, take a look, live with it for a couple minutes, and then if it grows on you, keep it. If it doesn't, try something different. Okay, y'all, so it's really not growing on me. I'm just not too sure. I might try this. See what I think of that. So I definitely felt like we needed some height, and I don't know, maybe a riser too. Maybe I should try a riser over here and see what we think of that. So I'll go down, shop my stash, and see if I can find a riser. Okay, y'all, so I don't know. I've been living with this for a couple of minutes, and I did some tweaking. I did try the riser. I didn't really like the way that looked, because it was just starting to feel a little too cluttered up here for me. So I think what I've done is just grouped these pieces together right here as a grouping, and then just set this here, because I think I like that this is asymmetrical. I like having the weight over here and then creating this as just a focal point. So I think I'm gonna go ahead, leave it this way for a little while and see what I think of this. Y'all have to give me your feedback. What do you think? What do you think? Does it need more? Does it need less? Or is it perfect? Okay, y'all, so for the coffee tables, I am going to keep them pretty minimal. I don't want to put a lot of stuff on the coffee tables, because we do sit here. Michael and I like to sit here in the evenings with our tea and just chat. So I want to keep the tables fairly clean so we have places to sit down, to set our cups down. So for the coffee tables, we're just going to do some fun greenery pieces. And I made this really beautiful floral arrangement. And when I created this, I wanted to use a pretty low profile vessel to put this in. So we created the floral arrangement just by following our same little rule of thumb. I just placed things, you know, started out with my clock pattern by placing some greenery pieces at 12, 6, 3, and 9, and then just fill in all around, and then fill in the middle sections to give it lots of height and make it look nice and full and fluffy. Then we're just going to add some candles in some nice wooden candlesticks, and I am using 2 different colored candlesticks here. I like a little bit of the contrast, and I like mixing. I think sometimes you can get away with mixing if you're using the right color palette and the right material. So in this case, they're both wood, and I think they look lovely paired together. And then on the little table, we're just gonna add in a bowl of our fun Easter eggs that we made together a couple of weeks ago. So all in all, I really like how the coffee tables are looking. I think they're fun, they're festive, and look elegant at the same time. I think they turned out pretty good, and I know this is gonna be a vignette that I can carry into early summer, minus the eggs maybe. The eggs will probably go away right after Easter, I'm thinking. Okay, y'all. I had to stop and make myself an iced coffee. It's really good. I was just feeling like I needed a quick little afternoon pick-me-up. Okay, so back to decorating. I have a couple more things I want to do with y'all. I got a new tree that I want to add to the stairwell, so we're going to get that out, style that, and then maybe do a tablescape. We'll probably just do a very simple, easy tablescape for your Easter brunch or Easter dinner or whatever meal that you like to prepare on Easter. So that's what we're going to jump into next. Okay, y'all. So I got this tree and I wanted some height. You probably can't see the top of this, but I wanted some height on my stairwell because I have really tall ceilings in this space, and I just needed some height in there. So I had this basket that's on legs. Thought it would be a perfect basket to add this tree to it. I found this tree on Amazon and I'm not 100% impressed with it. It's, especially for what I paid for it, this tree was a little bit expensive. Just a little bit. I mean, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't exorbitantly expensive, but it was enough that I'm a little disappointed, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it and live with it for just a couple days and see. I did kind of spend a little time fluffing up the branches. But one of the things that I wanted to show y'all is when you have, because you know these trees a lot of times come in these ugly little pots, and they're concreted in there, and boy are they heavy. This is a very heavy tree. So I wanted to show y'all just a quick little way that you can fill your baskets to kind of hide all of that ugliness without having to fill it with like a ton of moss or whatnot. Because I'm not a big fan of just having a pot filled with moss. So I like to just take some greenery pieces like this and just kind of tuck them in. And in this particular one, I am using a cascading greenery piece because I really liked the cascadingness of it. I think it's going to need more though. I don't think 2 is going to be quite enough for this plant. So, but you can take some of the branches and kind of tuck them in, and it does kind of help hide that a little bit. I hope y'all can see this. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So you'll get a better look at it once it's in the... And then I'm just going to kind of fill it all the way. And I'm not going to let all of them cascade because I want the basket to look sort of full around the actual trunk of the tree. Plus this is going to be kind of tucked in the corner so we won't be seeing the back anyway. So, and I can't see what this really looks like in the front, but anyway, you kind of get the idea. I'm sure I'm going to play with this and tweak it a little bit, but that is a good way. I think it's a pretty way to kind of hide the inside of your basket. We are getting so much done today. This has been so much fun. I'm so happy with everything we've accomplished so far. I feel like I just have a couple more things to do, and then we can call our decorating for the sitting area, our main living area, finished. So I want to create a really super simple, but just a fun, simple, elegant tablescape, and then we will talk all things kitchen. So let's head into the dining space, the dining area, and create a fun tablescape. Okay, y'all, let's go ahead and start with the centerpiece, because you know this is the focal point of our tablescape. So we'll start with this, and all I've done here is I just started out with a really pretty wooden dough bowl, and then I just started to fill the whole thing in with a bunch of different greenery pieces. And I used lots of greenery picks so that we could get lots of texture in here and just have lots of fun elements to this. I chose to keep it all green so that I can take this into my early to mid summer months. I'm not a super big floral person at the table for some reason. I don't know what it is with me and florals, but I like just the greenery. And I did want to keep this very low profile so that we have good sight lines with everyone sitting at the table. Okay, so we've got our centerpiece. Now we can go ahead and start creating some fun place settings around the table. Okay, y'all, so I'm gonna start the place settings off with just some fun placemats. And I got these placemats, I've had them for years. I do think I got them at Target. They are pretty old. I've had them for a really long time. I might have to do some adjusting. I don't have the leaf in. I normally put the leaf in when I create a tablescape like this. But just for the sake of this, I wanted to keep things small so you could kind of see everything that's going on here. So we've got our placemats. And I like to use placemats with lots and lots of texture. And these are oversized as well so that you can still sort of see that texture underneath our plates. Okay, y'all, so I just want to keep our tablescape fairly simple here. So I'm just going to put out a few pieces. So I'm going to start, of course, with our plates. I've got our cutlery. I've got some cloth napkins, and I am missing drinkware, but we will set that out. And then I thought, just because, you know, we've got Easter coming up, I thought it might be kind of fun to set out some of these fun egg cups and then put our pretty Easter eggs in them that we made a couple of weeks ago. So I'm just going to go ahead and create this, start setting all the pieces out and see what we end up with. Okay, friends, let's talk kitchens. I think the kitchen is the heart of the home. It's where we spend most of our time, and I think most of us do. We spend a lot of our time in the kitchen. So I definitely have my staple pieces that I keep out in the kitchen year round. They're pieces that I use daily when I'm cooking all of our meals. So I like to have them handy, accessible, but I still like them to look pretty. So I'm going to just kind of show y'all a little bit of the pieces, how I style them, and show you how you can combine form and function in the kitchen. Let's start with the island. So the island in our kitchen is pretty small. It's a small island, but it serves a really big purpose. I use the island a lot for food prep when I'm cooking all of our meals. So because I use it so much, and we do sit at the island sometimes too, I like to keep the decor pieces very minimal on the island. I like to just have maybe one tray with some bigger decor pieces set on it so that I can easily move it when we are meal prepping. The countertop next to our stove is probably the busiest place in our entire kitchen. We do tend to do a lot of our meal prep here as well. So I like to have all of the really basic essentials here. I like to have the salt and pepper. I like them to be handy and convenient. So I keep the salt and pepper in pretty little ramekins, and the oil dispensers and all of our favorite cooking utensils are here. And I also like to have a bowl with some of our, local not local produce. I guess we could say our local produce, but just some of our favorite produce that we use on the regular, as well as my tray in the corner. I really do love my tray in the corner, and I like to have the canister here, which has my favorite teas in it, and all of my favorite wooden utensils. I love to use wooden utensils when I'm cooking. And I also have another, because I like to use 2 different oils while in the kitchen, so I have both oils easily accessible on this counter space. And of course, we can't forget the knives. We have to have our knives easily accessible as well. And then we also have our countertop next to the sink, which also has my dish cabinets right above it. And years ago, I took the doors off of my dish cabinets because I really like to have my dishes displayed, and I like to put pretty things up there as well. So I have all of that open, and eventually we do have plans to completely redo our kitchen. So when we get to that point, I will have real true open shelving up there. But for right now, this works too. So if you just want a quick hack, you can just take the doors off and make some really pretty open shelving. So all the cabinet space underneath my dish cupboards is just where I kind of keep some of the fun stuff. I don't necessarily use all this stuff on the regular. I do use it. My stand mixer I use constantly. So, and it's nice and convenient, but I do have, this is where I kind of feel like I can get away with just having a few more of the pretty things. And I love cutting boards. I love wooden cutting boards, and I'm always on the lookout for old and new. So I like to style and layer things with lots of cutting boards as well. I think my favorite place in the entire kitchen is my spice cabinet. And again, someday I'm really hoping to have real true open shelving here. But I love being able to see my spices. I love cooking, and I love to experiment with lots of different herbs and spice blends as I am cooking. So I like having them convenient, and I love having them where I can see them and just enjoy them. I think they make a really beautiful decor element. So the spice cabinet is one that I paid a lot of attention to, was careful with the detail on how I styled it. And I think it is definitely my favorite place in the kitchen. I never grow tired of it. I just enjoy it so very much. Alrighty, my dear friends, that is it for today. That is going to wrap up this episode. I so hope y'all enjoyed this. It was so much fun for me. I love spring cleaning and spring decorating. I think spring is my absolute favorite season of the entire year. It just has all the fun, fresh newness to it, which just brings a lot of happy and joy into my heart. So this was a ton of fun. I'm really enjoying everything that we accomplished today. I feel good about all the decor, and I hope that I have somehow inspired you and given you some good ideas for your spring and early summer decorating. I look so forward to seeing you all again next week. We've got some fun projects coming your way. I'm actually very excited about them, so I can hardly wait to share next week's projects with y'all. So come back and see me again next week. Until then, y'all take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.